Hey, what's up guys, it's Disciple and you're watching Overwatch Curios. Now if you're watching this video, you're probably interested in queuing up in competitive and climbing all the way to the top. Maybe you're brand new to ranked, or maybe you've been struggling to break out of your current bracket because you're caught in elo hell. Well, you're not doing yourself any favors by playing an underpowered hero or one that's too difficult to play effectively. I've been able to climb to Diamond playing solo, and I made this list with the help of my friend Rafflegator, a Grandmaster player who coaches Fnatic's Overwatch team, so no matter where you're trying to climb to, it should be an effective list. Now, these aren't the only heroes you should play in competitive, and there are definitely situational heroes or personal favorites, but these are 5 heroes, at least one in each role, that are guaranteed to help you climb higher if you can master them. If you have a personal favorite hero, but you find that you can't climb any higher, it may be time to change things up. The first hero on our list, and probably no surprise, is Genji. Although he might be the highest difficulty of any of our 5 heroes, his basic combos and strategies are simple enough for anyone to master with a little bit of time. One advantage Genji has is a huge skill ceiling, meaning is that as you continue to improve on him, you can continue to carry yourself higher and higher, opening up more and more possibilities on the hero. Genji's one of the most effective solo carries in the game. He's been strong in most metas since his release, and many team compositions have been built around keeping Genji alive so he can clean up the enemy team. His ult is one of the most powerful tools in the game, especially when supported by your allied Zarya, Zenyatta, or, most importantly, Ana. Once you've ulted, it can be really easy to carve through the back line, resetting your dash after every kill, and make flashy plays that win the game for your team spectacularly. If you like playing offensive heroes, Genji could be one of the best picks for you, especially since he's currently generally stronger in the meta than Tracer, Soldier, or Pharah are. Make sure to learn what areas of attack he can take, since his wall climb, double jump, and dash make him much more mobile than most other heroes. Also spend time in the practice range or versus AI, getting used to the speed of his projectile and jumps. If you can consistently harass the enemy team from multiple directions, duel the opposing DPS with your reflect, and assassinate key targets, then you're ready to carry yourself up out of the dumpster and into the top 500. Up next is Roadhog, the tank with the most upfront damage potential out there. You've probably fallen victim to the old hook combo a few times before, and although it might seem a bit cheesy, grabbing picks is one of the strongest ways to carry yourself in Overwatch. Even if your team isn't as good as you'd hoped, turning any fight into a 6v5 right off the bat by deleting their support is going to push things far in your favor. Roadhog is fairly simple to use, all things considered. Aiming is important, especially for your hook, but if you're playing an FPS competitively, then aim should kinda be expected. His general playstyle is to use alternate fire to bust enemy shields while being on the lookout for hook targets. Pharah is boosting into the air, Tracer is darting into your back line, or Reinhardt's whose shields just broke are some of the perfect targets. Supports will generally play far back, but your huge health pool and massive heal should give you a little bit of leeway if you want to go hunting for them once a fight gets scattered. A proficient Roadhog player should find it easy to grab 1 or 2 kills in every fight using his hook, left click, quick melee combo. However, it can be pretty tough to play Roadhog unless your team already has a Reinhardt or another strong tank. If you can play him to his max potential though, a strong Roadhog can easily carry you up. Number 3 is going to be Mei. Now, lover or hater, there's almost no denying Mei's effectiveness after her most recent buffs. Not only does her ultimate have a huge range and a right click does massive damage, her wall is one of the strongest abilities in all of solo queue if you use it correctly. On maps with a single small entrance, like the front of Hanamura or Eichenwald on point A, it can be very easy to throw up a wall after 1 or 2 enemy heroes runs through. Then your team can easily surround them, dispatch them, and then buy an extra 30 to 40 seconds while the enemies respawn and group together. Mei's an excellent duelist and can go head to head with a majority of enemy heroes, since her freeze is very forgiving when you aim it, and it's absolutely frustrating for any hero who doesn't have a shield or a way to get out of it. And having an invulnerability and self-heal lets you make up for a lot of mistakes. Playing a hero with such a low skill floor and so many abilities that allow you to escape situations is an incredibly good idea for climbing competitive, since you simplify what you need to do and how hard you need to work to play at your max potential. Playing a mechanically easy hero allows you to focus on team play, take down important targets, and use their abilities to their maximum effectiveness without being able to make the mistakes that you could on other heroes. Another huge use for Mei is her ability to stall out a point. Against another team of mostly solo players, it can be almost impossible to pull a Mei off the payload who's constantly using ice blocks, walls, and freezes to wait out her team's respawns. Buying your team a little bit of extra time on the clock or another chance to come in with your ultimate and clean out the fight is huge, and it can increase your chance of winning every single match by just a little bit. For number 2 on the list, we suggest Ana as your go-to support if you want to carry yourself to the top. Now, we know that she's probably the most difficult support, and we're sure that you've seen her in almost every pro match. That's for a really good reason. Ana is the number 1 enabler in the game, and her ult is so insanely powerful at the moment that it's good enough as a standalone reason to play her. It may seem odd to suggest playing Ana to carry yourself in solo since so much of her kit is based around other heroes, and while she does rely on teammates more than Zenyatta or Symmetra, you might be surprised how capable your teammates really are. Even the most clueless Reinhardt or Reaper can tear through an enemy team with a nano boost, since all you have to do is really just press W and left click at the same time. Adding on to that the massive single target healing from your basic shots and the insane versatility of your sleeping dart, Ana has a crazy arsenal for a single character. It might seem like playing support solo makes it really hard to climb, but a well-played Ana will be able to make up for her own team's really dumb mistakes while making huge plays of her own. Her damage isn't great, but it's consistent and it's long range. Make sure that you save the sleep dart to catch a tank or support away from their team, or use it to shut down an enemy ult. Try and use your biotic grenade often enough to keep your team full health, but if the enemies have a Zenyatta, then you can completely shut down his ult with it. Just remember, if nothing else, don't ult the Lucio. The number 1 hero to carry yourself out of solo queue, and my personal favorite hero in the game, is Zarya. Zarya is a tank with such insane damage and playmaking potential that it actually still blows my mind. Playing Zarya effectively is definitely tough, and she's probably the most difficult tank, but once you've mastered her, there's not a much more frightening and well-rounded hero in the entire game. Use your shields as often as you can to gain ult charge while negating enemy engagements, poke, or even entire ultimates. If your enemies are crossfiring down a specific corridor or entrance, it can be absurdly easy to gain 100 energy fast. This nearly doubles your DPS and allows you to push in for insane damage once your shields are off cooldown again. Although Zarya might find it a bit difficult to get consistent damage, it should be fairly easy to know when to use your alt fire to poke and when to focus on a single enemy with your primary laser. Your left click is perfect for targets like Genji and D.Va who can block or deflect projectiles, and your alt fire destroys stationary enemy setups. Zarya's ult, however, is the real reason she makes such an absurdly good solo carry hero. A solid Graviton Surge on 3 or 4 targets allows your team to easily clean up, and in many cases you'll be able to take care of them yourself if you're on high enough energy. The biggest tip to using Zarya's ultimate is to watch out for enemy defensive abilities, such as a Genji Deflect or a Mei Wall, since they can shut you down hard. Wait out enemy abilities or make sure that your team has plenty to follow up with, like Reinhardt's Earthshatter or Mei's Blizzard. I've played hundreds of hours of Zarya since the closed beta, and she's always been my personal favorite. She's a constant pickup on every team in almost any meta, she's so well-rounded, and she allows you to play around your team while making huge plays on your own. Those 5 heroes should be absolutely solid starting places to carry yourself in solo queue, but we'd also like to make a few honorable mentions if 5 isn't quite enough for you. If you're an offensively minded player, then we're happy to suggest Reaper and McCree as excellent options for your solo climb. Both characters can do such fantastic sustained damage and make huge plays on their own using their ultimates that they deserve an honorary spot on the list. Reaper in particular is one of the easier heroes in the game to play, so if you're forced into offense, then he's one of the safest picks you can make. Finally, for you supports who are tired of losing games on Lucio and Mercy because your team just couldn't DPS, then give Zenyatta a try. With the most offensive potential of any support, a good Zenyatta can absolutely carry a team in lower ranks. If you're truly above your opponents in skill, then you should be able to outduel enemy DPS and supports while keeping your own team alive with Harmony and Transcendence. Although it can be tricky to play effectively, overall Zenyatta is fairly straightforward and fun to play. That just about does it for our list of the 5 best heroes to carry yourself out of Elo Hell with. Let us know who you use to carry in Overwatch, and if you guys like this video, we'll make sure to make another one after the next patch comes out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.